Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Inside Out Conversations, where we speak about two very important pillars of executives' growth. One is how can they evolve inside. That is where coaching comes into picture, and the second one is how people see you. How do you project yourself so the world can see you, which is the branding part. I'm Manju. I'm a mindset coach. I'm founder of the company Flip Your Story. And today with me is a person whom I've had wonderful conversation every time I engage with him. And if you want to know about him, yes, you should go through his LinkedIn profile. He has a wide variety of experiences in the last 16 years of his career. Some of the roles that he has played, one is he has been a business consultant, he has been a chief marketing officer, he has been a director of marketing and communications. And finally, with all the experience that he has had, he co-founded this company, UX Consulting Service, where he ensures that he provides tailor-made personal branding solutions for executives to ensure that he positions them as leaders. Um, Welcome, Charan. I'm going to have a fantastic conversation with you, and I'm really looking forward. So, the theme that we're going to discuss with Charan today is going to be uh, a lot of people have a lot of talent. They try to keep it within themselves. So, the silent talent or the loud impact, what works? Leaders need branding in today's world is what is the theme of the conversation today. So, Charan, shall we roll?
Absolutely. It is a pleasure to have you again on this conversation, Manju, especially from where we left on the last time. So I'm all yours to understand a little bit more on what you have shooting at me.
Absolutely. So let's start with the basics. What is person branding? And how has it changed over the years? And in 2025, like what is the significance?
See, to simply put, today the world cannot ignore a person's digital presence. Okay, if there is somebody who is in any experience, let's say you are a 5-year-old professional to a 25-year-old professional. Okay, if your name does not show up in the digital space in some way or the other, that itself is a red flag for whatever reasons.
Right,
Unless you are this huge celebrity who people, if that it doesn't show up, people understand, it's a celebrity, it doesn't show up and there are reasons for it. If you aren't into that category, if you aren't available in the digital space, like people are unable to find you, then that itself is a huge red flag. That's, I'm just talking about the existence of it. Now
right.
over and above comes the presence of it, the visibility of it, and the good things about it. So that is very critical, and there are no two thoughts about it.
Okay. In that case, I wanted to ask you one basic question. I have myself as a professional when I was working, I was not very existent in social media on what am I doing, why am I doing all of that. What do you think keeps people holding on to this resistance? Because they know that they have to grow, but then in spite of that, people don't really go all out. Why do you think that happens?
See, what usually happens is people always look at how do I solve a problem only when they are at the problem.
Right.
It's usually like when everything is the ship is sailing well, or when you're going really well in your career or in your professional journey. You don't really look at, hey, when was the last time I updated my resume? Can I just go back and add what I've done in the past 3 years? Nobody does that. The moment they decide, like, hey, nothing is working for me, or I want to look out for a job, I want to switch, the desperation comes in, the panic comes in, and the time crunch comes in, and that's when people try to go about doing it. So, largely, people don't do it because they feel they are in good waters, they feel they
Right.
are sailing safe, and they feel that it is not relevant or immediately needed for me. So, that's pretty much the reason, actually.
Right. As we live in this time that everything is evolving and everybody is trying to put themselves out on social media, I have this really important question that I wanted to ask. What is the difference between self promoting and branding? I have always been having this confusion, so it'll be really nice if you can elaborate.
See, self-promoting is basically it's like keeping a mirror around you. Okay, you get into a
Mhm.
room. I can probably give an example of a vanity room, like for dressing room, where you go around and you look at a lot of mirrors around you, right? So all the mirrors will show you. So self-promoting is like putting out too many content about you in the public space, in the digital space, where somebody who is connected to you, all they keep looking at it is you. The people get a little bit of fatigue, what they call as mental fatigue, looking at it every time I open this platform. I only keep seeing things about this person. He said
Mm.
this, he did that, he walked into this, he walked out of this, he presented this. There's too much of things. So you need to find the balance on what is relevant there. When you go overboard about it, then it becomes into the bucket of becoming a self-promoting aspect of it. So you need to be wary of it.
Right. Um, Let us speak about what does loud impact really mean, and is there a possibility? I'm just coming from the aspect, is personal branding essential in the first place? I'm sure the answer is going to be yes, because I've been in this space for quite some time. But what's the difference in creating loud impact, and if somebody chooses to not be very socially present, what's at stake?
See, for example, when people look at the term as loud impact, there's a kind of a correlation that it comes with what you just told about self promotion. Okay, because loud impact is not necessarily self promotion. Okay, self promotion is overdoing a lot of things. Okay, it is like it is like a Diwali fest that is running for days. You start bursting crackers, so the fest keeps going on and on and on and on. That's more like a self promotion. A loud impact is making a spotlight or making an impact for people to know you for some specific activity or for some specific milestone that has happened in your professional career. It
Mm.
doesn't necessarily have to be a milestone that is like an Oscar level where everybody wins an Oscar, only then they talk about it. But
Right.
it is a significant milestone in your own journey. Probably you completing, I'm just taking an example here, probably you completing 10 years in your professional career in just one organization. That's a significant milestone for that individual.
Right.
Probably it may not look significant for so many others, but then that's an impact. So it shows about their sustenance, it shows about their credibility, it shows about their longevity and the servitude that they have for the organization. Those are small things, but still those are a lot of impacts.
Makes sense. Okay, let's dig a little deeper. Again, I'm going to ask you certain questions which might be slightly repetitive and might have the same flavors. Do you think in today's day and age, say, if there's a professional who has been working for, say, the last 10, 15 years, and they have all been tuned to work in a certain way, right? They just work, 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 not really very bothered about how the world perceives you or the team perceives you, right? So if they choose to continue being that, will they ever be able to scale?
See, I can talk a little bit from my past corporate experience itself. Okay, so
Hmm.
when I started off as a fresher, I started off as uh, a technical engineer. Okay, then I just looked at the stream of ladders that existed. So then there's a senior technical engineer. Then there's a technical leader. Then there's a technical specialist. Then there's a senior technical specialist. And there's a technical manager. It goes so on and so forth. Okay, these are all the designation levels that you grow on as you grow in your experience. Okay,
Right.
but the one thing that I've noticed is not just in the organization that I was a part of, but in largely in many organizations, as you go up in your experience, the designations change, the tags change, but then the kind of roles that you perform are very insignificantly changing. There's not a huge difference between what you did as a technical specialist to what you're going to do as a senior technical specialist. Sometimes there would still be people who would be tagged under the name of a senior technical specialist, but they would be probably doing a little above than a junior technical engineer. It's not
Right.
because that they are underperforming or they're given a job that is not relevant for them, but there's a kind of a ceiling that keeps hitting off over a period of time as you grow in your experience. So now,
Right.
when this happens, there's a problem of plenty that comes into the picture. I mean, since we are having this conversation today, especially with TCS, the biggest of one of the biggest of the organizations in India dropping a bombshell telling they are letting go of people. And whom did they let go? They are letting go of people who are in mid and senior levels.
Right.
They're not letting go of people who are in junior levels. The reason not being that the people in the mid and the senior level are suddenly gone bad. It's because there are so many people who are stuck at that level, and there are so many challenges that exist in promoting these people beyond a particular level. They have to make a balance between the cost versus value these people provide to the organization's growth engines. That's how it is.
Right. Okay. So that actually brings to what is the question that I wanted to ask about is the cost of missing out now, right? Always during layoffs, obviously they let go of the senior people who are very cost heavy to the company, right? Now, where does this resistance come from? At least in the last 5-10 years, social media has had this boom, and then everybody is wanting to create a space for themselves socially, create a social identity, right? But where is their resistance coming from? Because you've already worked with so many senior professionals. Is it fear? Is it the fear of perception? Is it fear of unknown, or is it just the conditioning is like that? Just keep things to yourself. Where is it coming from out of your experience?
So there are actually a lot of reasons. Okay,
Right.
one of the important reason that we could tell for most of Indians is we are not generally people who wants to what you call drumbeat. Okay, we don't want to say what we do. So I mean, like, yeah, I won that award, so what's there? I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, my team did that. Yeah, I got an award for 2.5 lakhs, my team, whatever. So these are all. So the primary thing is people feel that if I talk about something that I achieved, I was recognized for, there's a condition in the mind that comes from inside telling like, hey, I think you're promoting yourself. Don't do it. It's a voice from within. No, so let's lay low. Let's lay low. This is one aspect of it. And the second thing, what I talked about earlier. I mean, there's always time for me to do this. Why now? I can probably tell about this later.
Interesting.
Probably when I'm in the process of actively looking for an opportunity. Let me go about update all the certifications that I have done. I have seen a lot of people in LinkedIn. They would be in coma on LinkedIn, and suddenly they will wake up, and in 1 month you will see like they'll be
100 posts.
completing 25 certifications. Hey, what happened to this guy? On at least on LinkedIn. Okay, so that's also there. That also adds to it, and there's also this aspect of people not knowing about, okay, me doing this, how is it going to actually help me? People don't know to connect this. Okay, me doing this, me talking about this, me telling about what I do, me talking about my area of expertise, me talking about the domain areas that I am experienced in. For me talking about this in the public domain, how is it going to help me? I'm already stuck with so many things in my meetings. I'm running from one meeting to another, then from next meeting to the other. Then I hardly find time to shut myself off from my career and my work related things. I don't really find time for all of these things. All of these come into the picture there.
Right. Okay, I wanted to touch upon two questions based on what you've answered now. When it comes from the cultural thing, like, as Indians, we try to keep it low sometimes, and then after somebody educates them or some kind of a shift happens, only then they start going all out. So, how do you usually break that that habit in your client? Say if they're just saying, hey, you know what, I don't really want to consistently create it. See, as they say, visibility creates credibility, but the visibility should be over a period of time. It should not be like, boom, like in 1 month you're just putting up 100 posts and bombarding everybody, so everybody knows that they're actually looking for a job change, or they're looking at leveling up, right? You're saying that, consistently do it so that people keep looking at you and a brand kind of gets built. But how do you generally convince clients, and what are the challenges that you have is the question.
See, this is a very tricky situation. Okay, the thing is, the people who need this desperately, they will never ask. Okay, the
Okay.
people who come to know of it, they may probably think I don't need it now. So this is a kind of a tricky mix of people that we live with. Okay, because the people who need it very immediately. Okay, These are the kind of people who are on a very higher level of experience, and probably who are in positions where something is missing out, the visibility is missing out, or the recognition is missing out, or probably their association with the current organization is going a little sour. So something is happening and they feel they need it, but they feel like, hey, me asking out to somebody to ask for it, is it really something that I can ask out? It's like a secret that I should not ask somebody. So people are very shy about asking this. So usually what I tend to do is, because I understood over a period of time, people have this aspect of, if I could put a phrase, starting trouble in having this conversation.
Right.
I go about attending events where people, like in this kind of an experience, they largely gather. Okay. And I go about introducing myself to them, telling them this is what I do. Okay.
Mm.
So a lot of time the conversation has been like, hey, I didn't know that people do this. I didn't know that somebody can help around people like this. So that has been happening. And on the other side, I've been looking for people like this, and I didn't even know like somebody can help around on this front. So those things exist. So even let's say tomorrow, if somebody engages me, I cannot go about telling, hey, I'm the person who's helping build the personal profile of this person, unless the other person allows me to. Okay.
Right.
Otherwise, the job profile or the job description is always on the behind the screens. So you just need to work around with the people and work very silently. So that's the way the mode of operation is as well, and
Mm.
that's the way it looks for people from the outside. So yeah.
Right. Okay. Fine. So now we have seen like what is personal branding, why is it essential, and then what is the cost of missing out. Now, for a layman, where do they even start?
See,
Right.
all of the people who are in the space of 15 plus years of experience in whatever the domain, whatever the organization, whatever the region that they are in, okay, if they are not going to build their personal brand starting yesterday, then they are not going to be relevant tomorrow. Plain and simple.
Right.
Today is the time for you to catch up to what you couldn't do yesterday.
Mhm.
Otherwise, your tomorrow will never come. So that is a kind of a criticality, or the kind of a situation that these people are in, people who are not in that space. See, when I'm saying you need to build your personal brand for the executives, I'm not telling like go ahead and go engage a consultant or engage a person. No. See, that is something for, see, when we say you go start doing an exercise at a gym, it does not mean that go hire a personal trainer for 8 hours a day. It doesn't go from zero to that level immediately. When
Right.
we're saying you need to go do workout on a gym, the first thing you need to do is find a gym that is close by. So that is a level of initiative that you need to take. The way I am telling about to these executives who wants to start on their personal journey is, the first thing that they know is, do you even know your LinkedIn password? A lot of people are logged in forever. And some of the people that I work with, when I ask them, can you share with me your LinkedIn credentials? They're like, the last time I logged in was probably 7 years ago. Ever since I've been logged in, I don't even know which email ID I use for this. I don't even know which is the password for this. So let me just reset it and give it to you. So that's the kind of a situation that people are in. So if you that is what you are in, then probably, and some of the people that don't even have their LinkedIn app on their phone. So that's another telltale. Okay.
Absolutely. Lovely. Now, coming to one of the most vital things, you told some time back that there were people who didn't know that such services existed, and then when they engage, that's when they know, hey, I really needed this service. And now, a lot of people are becoming aware. Like the market is changing in the last 10 years, and it's such a beautiful place to, be. I'm sure as a personal branding coach, because a lot of people are actively understanding this better. Now, my important question is this: how do you do it right now that everybody is becoming aware and everybody is putting up a lot of content outside? Now, how do they do it right?
See, when it comes to doing it right, okay, let us split this into two aspects, your personality and your sharing of it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, with respect, what people generally tend to mix it up is, ChatGPT is there to solve all problems. or generative AI is there to solve all problems. I have a question, I ask, it will solve. Okay.
Right.
See, the the operational aspect of creating something, executing something, and putting out something in a very faster, in a more simpler, in a more quicker way, generative AI comes to help in a lot of ways. But
Right.
then generative AI cannot be the replacement for you as an
True.
individual. So when we are saying doing it right, um, the the central point of doing it right is do it right for what it represents you as a true person, as authentic self.
Mhm.
So if I am a person who makes a joke when I speak to somebody in person, and if I am the person who is representing my ideas in a similar manner on a public platform, then I am resonating myself in my physical identity as well as my digital identity. So if I come off as a person who's very serious in person, but on my digital presence, I'm funny like the top comedians, then people are going to see, this is not the guy who I saw on the digital media for so many months, and finally I meet him at a summit. He's a totally different guy, right?
Right.
So we need to make sure that doing it right is about making sure who you are as a person is represented appropriately, and you use the right word, authentically, so that a trust is built around the person in their digital presence. And the tools to make it happen, as we talked about, lot of things to read, lot of things to consume, and of course to execute it, you can utilize these things, these kind of free tools that are available. Those are all starting points, right?
Right.
Where you can do it, but going to go about doing right is always about what is the real you, and how are you representing the real you consistently over a period of time, both as an individual as well as your digital presence.
Right. Okay. So basically, creating an alignment of who you are as a person and ensuring that gets projected so that people get to know you and your personality beforehand, so that when they do interact with you, whatever you have built so far does come in handy. That's like one of the ground rules of how to do personal branding, right? Okay. Again, now I have a very cliched question to you, Charan. Most often, whenever I watch interviews, when I hear certain questions, I feel, oh my God, this is such a cliched question. But then most often it's the perspective that comes from the other side, which just makes that question so much more valuable. What are the myths in personal branding?
There's no secret sauce to it, like you put a spoon of it and tomorrow the beanstalk grows and you climb on it and you plug the magic beans. Nothing. There's
Right.
nothing of a short term solution for building your personal brand. So people who think that it can be done, no, they are not thinking in the right way. And if there is somebody who says that I can take you from ground zero to ground 100 in 3 months, then probably they are selling you snake oil. Okay. So this is another myth. So when it comes to, see, I give a very interesting example to make this point. Okay. See, over a period of time, we don't do any exercise. Okay, and we grow a lot of flab, we put on a lot of tummy. Okay, then we spend so much of time in our lives in building this tummy of doing nothing. Okay, then tomorrow you want to reduce this, you need to put the right amount of time and effort to reduce. If somebody says I'm going to insert a syringe and take off all the flab, then you're going to become leaner, but you're going to look weirder.
Yeah.
So, do you want to become fitter, or do you want to look weirder? So that's the relation. That's the correlation that I want to bring. So you put a lot of time to build a lot of coma into your LinkedIn. Then you need to come out of the coma in a more sustained and consistent manner in building your LinkedIn profile as well, and that is going to take a longer time. It cannot
Right.
happen in a month. It cannot happen in a week. It cannot happen in 3 months' time. It's a lifelong journey.
You're right. Now, Charan, give me a few examples. You don't have to take the client name or the company that they were working in, where they were. It was a silent talent, okay, and from there they did take up personal branding. They started taking branding a little bit more seriously, and how did it create a louder impact? Just give me some real life examples.
See, when it comes to, as I told you earlier, right? So when it comes to creating a louder impact, the impact the loudness of the impact is more so for the person. It is not for the world. It's not like everybody feels that, hey, this is amazing. But for that one person, it is a whole lot of a difference. Okay. I can give you an
Right.
example for one of my earliest clients. Okay.
Hmm.
The requirement was, see, here again, what is the most important aspect is the person who wants to build their personal brand, they need to, if even if they don't have at that point of time in the conversation, they need to arrive at a clear purpose.
Right.
Why are you doing what you're doing? There needs to be a clear purpose. If you don't have it, we can define it, but if you have it, let's work towards this. So in
Right.
this example, this person that I worked with, she had a very clear purpose. Her purpose was to uh, get on to a better job, and that better job needs to land at her calling, and
Hmm.
it needs to give her the pay that she is demanding. So these are all the wish lists that we try to write down for ourselves, right? So
Right.
when we look at it as a wish list, this looks like, hey, is this for real? But then that happened. Okay. But the reason we don't talk about these success stories that often is people get carried away with these the end results. The journey was a year and a half for us to actually achieve that. She got a
Right.
better opportunity. She landed up in a career where the pay was as per her demand, and the job came to her doorstep, knocking at her doors rather than she going searching for a job, because her visibility and presence made people look up to her. So these all happened. This all will happen, and LinkedIn as a platform will give you those things. But what we don't understand is what happens behind the doors on all the drudge work that happens. It is never a one man job. And also, I wanted to tell, it's never a job where you assign it to a personal branding consultant and they'll take care of everything. No, it doesn't work that way.
It works hand in
It's
hand.
always
Right.
it always a two-man job. The person who's going to help you build your personal brand is the person who is going to go along with you. But if you're not coming along with them, then it is not going to go anywhere. So it's a two-man job, but when we are doing the two-man job for the purpose that we are wanting to do, and we are committed it for the long game, sky's the limit. Anything we can achieve.
Right. Okay, good. I think it was a perfectly engaging conversation, Charan. Today was all about giving the audience a quick insight about where should they be. Should they be very happy with their talent because they're already talented? Should they just keep things to themselves, or they should start creating a louder impact? I, for sure, because I have been having conversations with you, that we should be creating a louder impact along with being talented. I'm sure the audiences are also going to be convinced now. Now, what's next on Inside Out?
What I want to actually pick it up from where we left last time is, last time we spoke about the difference between a mentor and a coach and a counselor and a teacher. So we sort of arrived at who's a coach. Okay. After you told me, I did a lot of digging, and guess what? I found so many coaches. Umpteen. There's a
Yes.
there's a leadership coach, there's an executive coach, there's a passion coach, there's a professional coach, there's a mindset coach, there's a management coach, there's a speaking coach, there's a, I don't know how many. Okay. So there are so many. Earlier in the conversation I had nobody. Now there's a problem of plenty. So the next
Right.
time when we are speaking with you, I want to understand who are all, not the kind of coaches that are relevant for executives growth. I want to speak to you on that, so that people are navigating away from these coaches who are not really contributing to the executives professional growth. So I want to have a conversation with you on who are not the kind of coaches that executives should engage with.
Right, I'm glad. See, we have created a bit of an awareness in the last episode. So did we in this episode as well. It is very important for us to engage with the right professionals. See, you cannot go to a meat shop and ask for vegetables, and you cannot do the reverse also. So you will have to go to the right place to buy the right thing. So it is important for people to know what they're engaging in the first place. So I'm sure it's going to be an interesting conversation. So I'm really looking forward to it as always. And to all the audience out here, if you want to connect with Charan, this is the ID. You can reach out to him in LinkedIn and understand about his services better. And we're really looking forward to meet you in the next live. And the whole idea of we having inside out conversation is to see how we can bring in more clarity and awareness in the audience. Because as executives, there's a lot of things that you can grow in, and if you grow in the right direction, the growth is going to come faster. And growing inside out is very, very important for your faster professional growth. And we would love to see you soon in the next inside out conversations. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.